All right, everyone. I need you to pay very close attention to what I'm about to tell you, because what is developing right now could become the most significant storm of this entire winter season. All three major weather models, the European, the GFS, and the Canadian, are now in agreement that a powerful storm system will develop by this coming weekend. The European model is showing a full-blown nor'easter with potential blizzard conditions for the northeast. The GFS is showing a major coastal storm riding up the eastern seaboard. The Canadian model confirms the same general setup. When all three major models start agreeing on a big storm 6 days out, that is when you need to start preparing. And what makes this setup even more dangerous is that it arrives right on Valentine's Day weekend, when millions of people will be on the roads traveling for the holiday. Let me take you through every detail covering February 10th through the 16th, region by region and city by city. By the way, if you'd like specific weather forecasts for your region or city, please leave them in the comments. I'll answer them individually as time allows. Also, if you like the video and subscribe to my channel, you'd be very grateful. Now let's move on. Right now, the eastern United States is still shaking off the remnants of a brutal Arctic outbreak. Sub-zero temperatures dominated the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic all weekend. Wind chills plunged 20 to 40 below zero from Albany to Boston, and D.C. issued only its second extreme cold warning in recorded history. But today, Monday, the grip is loosening. A clipper system is diving through the Midwest, bringing light snow showers from Michigan through the Finger Lakes and into New England by Tuesday. Not a major event, maybe a couple of inches at best for upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and parts of Massachusetts and Maine. But keep the shovels out because this is just the opening act. By Tuesday and Wednesday, a ridge builds in and warmth floods across much of the country. Above-average temperatures push from the Corollas through Arkansas, Oklahoma, and across the southern two-thirds of the nation. Some areas could run 20 to 30 degrees above where they were this weekend. Enjoy it because it will not last. Even as we bask in the midweek warm-up, the atmosphere is quietly assembling the ingredients for a monster. Here is how this storm comes together. A classic Baja low, a powerful piece of energy in the subtropical jet stream, is forming over California and the Four Corners region by midweek. At the same time, the polar jet is loaded with cold air streaming south out of Canada. The WPC confirmed in their extended forecast discussion that troughing diving down the west coast will send southern stream energy into the southwest by Friday, bringing an expanding area of potentially moderate to locally heavy precipitation to the south-central United States by the weekend. They specifically stated that the system will traverse the southern half of the nation and spread precipitation into the east with uncertain wintry impacts possible on the north side. When these two branches of the jet stream, the subtropical and the polar, converge over the eastern United States, that is the textbook recipe for a powerhouse storm. And that is exactly what every model is now showing. The European model is the most aggressive. It forms low pressure over Texas by late in the week, then rockets it northeast along the coast. By overnight Saturday into Sunday, the European has a 998 millibar low-producing heavy snow, ice in the Appalachian, gusty winds, and potential blizzard conditions in the northeast. The European ensemble suite has been trending upward in confidence over the past several model runs, with snowfall probabilities climbing from Appalachia and the western Corollas all the way through the northeast. Icing probabilities have also jumped across the Ohio Valley and into Appalachia. This is not a fringe solution anymore. The ensembles are starting to latch on to this. The GFS model paints a similar big picture. It also develops the southern slider with rain from Texas through the Carolinas and shows a high-pressure block to the north pumping cold air into the mid-Atlantic. Winter weather breaks out from about Charlotte northbound. Whether that manifests as ice or snow will depend on the final thermal profile. The GFS then rides this up the coast as a powerful nor'easter, at 979 millibars, but it tracks the center further offshore than the European. That offshore shift reduces blizzard potential in the big cities, but still delivers a significant and impactful storm with heavy precipitation and coastal effects. The Canadian model confirms the general pattern. It shows some wintry weather developing by Friday for the mid-Atlantic and southeast, then brings the major storm through the weekend on a track between the European and GFS solutions. All three models agree this is a significant event. The differences are in the exact track and intensity, not in whether the storm develops. Now, let me give you the city-by-city breakdown of what this means, because this is what matters. Starting with the Northeast, New York City is directly in the path of this system on the European model, which shows a potential major snowstorm arriving Saturday night into Sunday. Central Park has only recorded 2-3 inches of snow this entire season, and one well-placed nor'easter could deliver more than that in a single burst. The GFS keeps the heaviest snow bands offshore, but still produces significant precipitation across the metro area. Either way, New York needs to be prepared for a high-impact event. Boston faces perhaps the highest blizzard probability of any major city. The European model's solution would bring heavy snow, strong winds, and dangerously low visibility to southern New England. Even the GFS, which is more conservative, shows substantial precipitation for the Boston metro. Philadelphia is in the critical transition zone. A southern tracking storm means heavy snow. An offshore track means more of a wintry mix or rain. Either scenario produces significant weather. Albany and upstate New York should prepare for heavy snow, regardless of which model solution verifies given their position well north of any rain-snow line. The European ensembles have been building probabilities here consistently. The Mid-Atlantic is a major battleground. Washington, D.C. could be looking at its biggest snow event. February is historically D.C.'s snowiest month, and this setup is classic for heavy snow or a significant wintry mix in the nation's capital. The GFS shows winter weather from Charlotte northbound, which puts D.C. squarely in the impact zone. Baltimore, Richmond, and the Shenandoah Valley are all at risk for a combination of snow and ice. The mountains of western Maryland and West Virginia could see the heaviest totals. Winter storm watches may begin appearing across this region in the coming days. The southeastern Corollas have been through so much this winter already, and they may not be done. Charlotte has already recorded 12 in from the January 31st bomb cyclone alone. The European model shows wintry weather pushing as far south as northern North Carolina and Virginia by Friday the 13th, with a secondary deeper system arriving over the weekend. The GFS brings rain and a wintry mix from Charlotte northbound. Raleigh sits right on the rain-snow line where a few degrees will make all the difference. Atlanta is on the southern fringe, but should not be complacent, because the European model has shown snow reaching deep into Georgia on some of its recent runs. The mountains of western North Carolina could add significant additional snow to what has already been an historic season for the high country. The Midwest and Ohio Valley see action regardless of which solution wins. Chicago and Detroit get precipitation from this system. The nature of it depends on how far north the storm tracks and how much cold air survives the midweek warm-up. Indianapolis could see a significant snow or ice event depending on the exact position of the rain-snow line. The Ohio Valley from Cincinnati through Columbus is in the icing corridor on multiple model runs, and ice accumulation from a system this strong could mean prolonged power outages. Pittsburgh and the western Pennsylvania mountains face a dual threat of heavy snow and ice. The midweek warm-up pushes temperatures into the 50s and 60s from Omaha through Kansas City, with Dallas and Oklahoma City reaching the 60s and 70s before the cold crashes back in by the weekend. Out west, the pattern is finally delivering meaningful moisture after a frustrating start to the season. A massive ridge of high pressure has kept California and Colorado snows starved for much of the winter. But that ridge is now breaking down. California is expecting rain along the coast, and mountain snow in the Sierra Nevada, starting Tuesday into Wednesday, with the WPC noting that this feature has trended stronger, and recent AI model guidance has flagged a low-end flood risk for Southern California. The Cascades, Northern Rockies, and Bitterroots are stacking up impressive totals with 50 to 80% probabilities for 6 or more inches across western Montana and northwest Wyoming ranges. Seattle and Portland see lowland rain while the mountains get hammered. Snowpack has been running 40 to 70% of normal in many basins, so this active pattern is desperately needed, and once it kicks in, it does not let up. Both models show relentless snowfall for the mountainous west through the entire period, which is welcome news for water supply and ski resorts that have been struggling. The temperature story for the week ahead seals the deal. The midweek warm-up peaks Tuesday and Wednesday, but by Thursday and Friday, colder air pushes back into the east. That cold arrives just in time to ensure that moisture from the weekend storm falls as snow and ice rather than rain across a wide swath of the country. After the storm passes, both models show Arctic air reloading across the eastern United States. The European model is notably colder than the GFS through the back half of the month, suggesting that this storm may be a dividing line between the mid-interwarm spell and a cold, active finish to February. The bottom line for February 9th through the 16th is unmistakable. A powerful storm is coming this weekend. All three major models agree. The European makes it a potential blizzard for the Northeast. The GFS makes it a strong nor'easter tracking just offshore. The track difference determines whether the biggest cities get buried or get brushed. But from the Appalachian to the coast, from the Corollas to New England, millions of people need to be paying attention and preparing now. Stock up on essentials, charge your devices, have a plan for power outages, and stay off the road Saturday night into Sunday if you can. I will be here every day this week tracking every shift in this pattern, because the details that get ironed out over the next 48 to 72 hours will determine who gets the worst of it. Stay safe, stay ready, and do not let Valentine's Day catch you off guard.